Let's see what that sort of systemic privilege grants you. Let's have a look.
Sweet nephew Hasan Piker is in trouble. I really hope I don't get canceled for this.
These people are f***ing shameless. What happened to having principled positions? Right, Dust Bowl, Discord or ban? Let's go.
We'll try to do something go.
Has anyone actually read the terms of service that are in question here?
I don't think that this is a really serious matter, but he often has bad takes like it.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. He sat there in his $3 million house.
This is insane. This is insane.
I've never blackpilled, okay? But like, this is indecipherable from right wing. He's just contradicted his own position. TYT are insufferable. Oh no, there's been a tragic error here. Right, come on, let's get into this. So, Young Turks, what did they have to say? Should you ever look at what a bit of nepotism gets you, folks? You want to talk about systemic privilege, okay? How about having the founder of one of the biggest progressive media platforms out there as your uncle? Let's see what that sort of systemic privilege grants you. Let's have a look.
Sweet nephew Hasan Piker is in trouble.
Wait.
And
did he say sweet?
Our sweet nephew Hasan Piker is in trouble. And turns out that he got banned from the platform that shot him to fame, Twitch, because he used an incredibly
Notice how they're obfuscating the TYT link there. Oh, he just shot to fame on Twitch. We don't know what happened. He set up a Twitch account and then he was famous. Oh, crazy. We don't know how it happened. We haven't got a clue. He just shot to fame. All off the skin of his own back, sweat of his own brow. All of a sudden he was famous. Unbelievable.
incredibly offensive word.
Oh my God, Anna, what was it?
I mean, look, the word is so offensive that we might need to target a franchise, a restaurant franchise that also uses the word in their name, Cracker Barrel.
No, that's C-word barrel.
C-word barrel. Apologies. Okay. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I really hope I don't get canceled for this.
Yeah, and it's got the word country in it too. Some people find that as an old other C-word store, C-word barrel.
So let me give you guys.
Oh my God, this is so fucking. This is so obvious, isn't it? Imagine putting this out unironically. This is so egregious. You're his fucking uncle. You're his uncle. And you're putting this piece of content out. Oh my fucking God. These people are fucking shameless. What happened to people giving a shit about a conflict of interest? What happened to that? What happened to having principled positions? I can't report on this due to the person involved being a family member. That would be a conflict of interest. Not for TYT, they don't fucking care. Yeah, let's get the fucking launder machines going. Let's fucking get them going. Come on. Quickly, we need to fucking... Uncle Cenk to the rescue to launder Hasan's reputation. Come on, quick. Churn them up. Quickly, get the fucking... We've fucking union busted the fuckers behind the scenes. Get those non-union workers fucking cranking 24 hours a day. Get that launder machine going, okay?
The context here. Twitch has decided to implement a 1 week...
Right, Dust Bowl. Discord or ban? Let's go. It's funny how mad you are over the C word as if there's nothing more urgent Twitch needs to be doing. Right, clearly you've misunderstood my position, okay? It's very sad and tragic. I feel sorry for you that you've misunderstood my position. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. Hop into the Discord, okay? And we'll have a little chat about it and I'll explain it to you and we'll go from there, okay? Let's go. You don't have a mic? Well, you can talk though on Discord somehow, presumably. Hello? Hello, is that Dusty?
Yes, that's me.
Okay. Fantastic. So what we're gonna do is I'd like you to explain my position to me, please. You disagree with it, so go ahead and explain what my position is that you disagree with.
We'll try to do something go. So can you explain what my position is?
I've muted the stream. I literally can't hear what you're saying, okay? It's impossible.
I'm trying to get the headphones working. Are you...
Okay. I think we're getting better. That's better than before.
Okay. I'm going to try to talk closer. Try to get the headphones.
Okay.
Getting better.
Hello?
Hello? I'm trying to solve this a minute, but yeah. I mute the stream. I won't hear anything. Wait a second. I mute the stream.
Okay.
Oh, I muted the stream on my end. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm very sorry. This is the first time I'm ever doing this.
Okay, don't worry about it. It's okay. Listen, it's all good.
Yeah.
Getting a bit of feedback. So when I speak, if you mute, but for now, I just want you to explain my position to me, please.
I'll try to mute myself. Discord. Okay, so I see that you have said before that you don't take the word very seriously, but technically it's TOS because it's like technically a slur.
Mm-hmm.
And Hasan has this position that it's not technically a slur. But I actually watched him. I watched him on the Majority Report, and he admitted actually that it is in fact a slur. It's just not a serious slur, and he just thinks that he actually praised Twitch TOS and said that they're doing a good job. And however, on the stream, he has said that, and of course on the show they kind of laughed about it and said that it's kind of overzealous, it's exaggerated that they clamped down on it so harshly. Like before, nobody was being banned before this for this word before Hasan, so it was kind of a surprise to everybody. And a lot of people suddenly jumped and started comparing, like saying like it's very very hurtful word, and he should never he should be more sensitive to about it because it hurts a lot of people. And maybe that's true, but I think that's also kind of that's technically making an argument for an equivalency to a slur like the N word or like the R word.
Okay.
And stuff.
So with all due respect, I don't care about what other people's position is. Okay. Like you can find me all sorts of crazy takes on this. I care about what my position is, and you said you had an issue with my position in chat, and I'm just wanting to understand, what is your disagreement with my position on this?
Yeah, so it seems like you are very antagonistic about Hasan because he had a bad take. And I'm sure, yeah, that is a bad take because he's not a smart guy. Not a very smart guy. He follows the news and he reports about it, and he's entertaining and he's funny, and he even admits that he's that he's not like an intellectual of any sort of any kind, and he gets like part of his appeal is all of his like he's him getting mad, moldy, and all that stuff. So
Okay.
I think you're taking it a bit too harshly. His position here.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. Let me explain why I feel so angry and frustrated by all of this, okay? So, Hasan is the biggest political streamer on the platform who, because of his background, because of the fact that his uncle is Cenk Uygur, has been offered a lot of privilege, okay, in the way that he's been able to grow his platform because of his family relations. I think that his success, sure, he works hard, I won't deny that. I think some of his coverage is fine, no problem there. But he's been afforded a lot of privilege. And yet, when the platform says you have broken the rules, which he has, and they suspend him for 7 days only, he throws his toys out of the pram, goes on Twitter, starts ranting about how absurd this is, starts quoting 600 follower accounts to fucking insult them, literally just randomly to his massive audience. I think this is bad behavior. It's like a kid throwing their toys out of the pram. And I just think that Hasan's behavior is I think that Hasan ought to, as a big public figure and the most prominent voice in politics, not behave this way when this kind of stuff happens. I think he should have a more mature, responsible approach, particularly considering the size of his audience.
Okay, I see your position. So, so it's like, yeah, I don't have Twitter. I don't follow Hasan. I don't know what Hasan is doing on Twitter, except looking at tweets and on stream and getting very, very mad and getting more followers because of that. Because that is very entertaining to watch someone getting mad over tweets they get. And a lot of times, of course, on Twitter, the response can be it can be stupid. And a lot of times his chat sometimes calls him out on that, but sometimes doesn't. Sometimes just supports it. It doesn't matter. But I get you. I get your point. But I also think that you are being a bit unfair to TYT. I'm not even a watcher of TYT because they are all close friends and family. It's not simply that they work together or something. They are regularly in contact. It's very openly known. They don't have to openly say that Hasan is tied to TYT. It's well known. Sorry.
Okay, I mean, I just my personal opinion, like this is hashtag breaking news. I think it is a massive conflict of interest at a news organization to report on something involving a family member. Okay, and in fact, Chris Cuomo has recently gotten in trouble over this with CNN because of the way in which he engaged in certain behavior at CNN in regards to his brother. So I think if you do want to report, I think ideally you wouldn't report at all on any news story involving a family member as a news organization, okay? But at the very least, I would expect there would be some level of clarity that they would put that within their reporting. Maybe they will later, I don't know. I mean, obviously they've said our nephew, Hassan, but I don't think that's sufficient. I think that there should be fucking plastered all over the place, just for the purposes of full disclosure, you know.
I think it's too well known about their relationships is too well known.
I don't give a shit about how well known it is because this is about principled news reporting, okay? And there are certain standards one ought to adhere to, regardless of how well known something is. So I just think that this is very shoddy reporting, and I don't think it represents journalistic integrity.
I don't think that this is a really serious matter. Like, I think this is like fun time segment on their show, and the topic itself because it's kind of silly, right? I understand that. I mean, Hassan on Majority Report even admitted that he completely understands why he got banned because that is TOS. He did break TOS. But it's kind of funny, and maybe he's how he's acting on Twitter is bad. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna defend that at all.
No,
And
sure. I mean, if
it's bad.
Sorry, go
Bad
on.
take. He had a bad take. Like I agree with that, but he often has bad takes. Like it's I don't I don't think that makes him a bad person. Like
Sure. I mean, I'm not. I don't morally. I'm not. My perspective on Hassan is, I don't think he's a bad person because I try not to morally impugn individuals because my belief is that individuals act in response to incentive structures and their behavior is driven by society, material influences, etc., rather than like them individually making bad choices. But it's this behavior that I take issue with, and even though that exhibits itself as a result of these things, I think I'm within my rights to say I think this is bad. I think this is bad. I think this is bad. And maybe I am being too harsh. I'm being a bit spicy, and I'm not saying you can't get spicy and shout and stuff like that. It's just I am personally frustrated, and that's exhibited in my coverage because it's just frustrating to see someone who has got an absolute metric ton of privilege in this arena of media acting so badly. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that would kill to be in Hassan's position and they would happily follow the rules, but he's acting as if he's going against the rules as some sort of virtue, when to me he's just acting like a petulant child. And I don't know. That's just my perspective. Maybe we just disagree. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand your perspective. Like he does act childish often. Like that's not unusual, and that's part of the entertainment factor of watching the Hassan.
Yeah,
Obviously.
sure.
And
that's fine. It's fine. Sorry, just to be clear. Sorry, I just want to say quickly. It's fine to be annoyed and to kick off. Okay, don't have a problem with that at all. It's when you use that to cloud what I think of quite bad perspectives, and then your big audience listens to that and goes along with it. That's where the issue really starts to come in. If you see what I mean.
Yeah, but his position is kind of a mainstream lefty Twitter position on this topic, which is very sad, but is true, and a lot of people just accept it as truth and don't question it. And it's kind of, it's not a unique position. Like, he didn't invent it; he clearly learned it from left Twitter.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I all I'd say is, like, when you do have a big platform and you've got the fucking big Twitch bucks, and especially when you've got these media links that benefit you, I just think I would like it if Hasan could engage in, like, a bit more of, like, responsibility, and like these sort of hyperbolic narratives and stuff. I mean, you remember what happened when he said, America deserved whatnot, right? Now, if some random Twitter account said that, whatever. But the fact that he said that on, like, a big platform, and his uncle had to step in to deal with it, it's clearly, and that was reported in, like, the mainstream press. And I just think that's going to end up creating political narratives that don't help us in the long term. And I just think that he's done this now, and it's another example where this is like rocket fuel for conservative propaganda. And I just think that, like, he can engage in all sorts of levels of spice and discourse and whatever, and memes, without leaning into these sorts of things, which I think in the long run probably just don't benefit us really. I don't know.
But a lot of his position is kind of a default left liberal position with kind of communist aesthetic going on around it. He does talk a lot about class, and I do appreciate his
he does. I agree with that.
His store that he opened, the internet store, that he's giving all of the proceedings to union funds. And however, the product itself of Hasan, like, for me, like, he's like a default left of center liberal kind of guy. Which is also shows in class position. It's also tied to class positions. However, though Hasan is not that well educated, he still comes from a certain educated background with an educated family that could explain stuff to him that any other type of family, you don't find this information. You have to search for it yourself.
Yeah, sure. I think, and the other thing I've criticized Hasan for before is I just, like, I don't have a problem with, like, the idea that he's an entertainer and he's just there for, like, some memes and he covers a bit of news and stuff. But, I mean, I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but he kind of presents himself in a certain way, which I think adds, he's wanting to, it's almost like he wants to add credibility to his perspective by acting like he's a newscaster or like he's doing some sort of left-wing activism or something like that to add credibility. But then people want to kind of disown that in some regard when they talk about him. And I just think if that's how he wants to sell himself, I think he's got to live up to those standards, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, that's basically my position. But
I mean, who of us hasn't had, like, a publicly bad take? Like,
of course, I agree. But
and we can be condemned and stuff, and it is always right to say that we need if we suddenly become a public figure. This is why I really, like, it's unimaginable for me, like, how you guys even do the whole streaming stuff, because like, it needs a lot of confidence. It demands a lot of confidence, and also gives you a lot of responsibility that you don't have when you don't have a large platform, or you don't have a platform at all. And it's right to say that everybody needs to take more responsibility. Like, I agree with that.
Yeah, of course. But the thing is, like, not to stop myself up too much, but I very clearly indicate I'm, talk about drama. I tell jokes, etc. Like, I'm not trying to sell myself as, like, a serious political actor. So as I grow, like, I'm not ever going to be in a position where I'm like, I don't want to talk about myself too much. It's a bit cringe. But my basic point is just that, like, I think that Hasan tries to sell himself in a certain way, but almost wants to kind of reject that somewhat. You know, when it comes to the brass tacks and it's time to get like a bit more serious. You know, one thing I would say is he has done some stuff which I think is commendable. I think it was someone was saying in chat, I'm not sure, but it was sales from some shirt. I think rather than more than that, but even so, that's a good thing. You know, if he does more of that, fine. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that it'd be nice if there was. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I think we kind of agree in some areas. I think the areas that we disagree on are kind of your perception of Hasan and what you think he is, like versus how he presents himself and how he sells himself. And I don't know if we'll be able to like bridge that gap, because you've obviously got a certain perspective of him, and I just think he sells himself in a different way.
Yeah, I understand that. By the way, I have to go do something.
Okay,
right now.
No worries. Listen, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Okay.
This was my first time on any stream on Twitch.
Okay. Well, I hope it wasn't too bad for you. I appreciate it. Okay.
Oh, bye.
Okay. Bye bye. I think I only got a bit spicy at one point. I think that was good. The only thing I didn't get to, because he said about there's more pressing stuff on Twitch to look at, and I really want to talk to someone about that who thinks that Twitch have got like massive issues, and like normally it's hate rage. People think hate rage is still like this massive thing, when actually there's now very clear steps you can take to kind of try to deal with that somewhat, you know? Let us continue, okay?
Suspension for Haas, and there are other streamers who are now also experiencing this suspension. For instance, Vosh is another streamer. He is indefinitely suspended because apparently he used the word cracker in his stream. And so this all started when Hasan noticed that 2 of his moderators or mods had been suspended from Twitch, and it was because they had used the word cracker. That sparked a debate with others in his community who disagree with his take on cracker. He does not think that it's offensive, and it is not the equivalent of using, let's say, the N-word, which is an actual racial slur. Others disagree. And since Twitch, like many other social media platforms, aren't very clear on what their terms of service happen to be.
That is unbelievable. What? No, has anyone... I'm gonna fucking lose it. Has anyone actually read the terms of service that are in question here? Has anyone actually fucking read the terms of service that are in question here? Okay? Because fuck me, they are fucking explicit. They are absolutely explicit. How can you say that they're not clear? So in some cases, I agree. They are unclear. This fucking explicit. Oh my God. No one's read it. No one's fucking read the terms of service. No one's read it. I don't know what to say. I honestly, at this point, when you've got this video fucking talking about, and like, they're saying it's unclear. They've not read it, have they? They've not read it. Oh my God. They've not read it. They're talking about this. They've not even fucking read the terms of service in question. They've not even read the policy. Oh my God. Oh my God, you're a fucking news org. You're a fucking news organization. You're a fucking news organization reporting on this, and you haven't fucking read the terms of service in question. This is unbelievable. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. Okay. Oh, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it.
Or more importantly, they don't apply their rules evenly among all streamers. Turns out that Haas ends up getting a 1-week suspension. So he talked about this through Twitter, saying, yes, it is for exactly what you think it is, anti-white racism for using the term cracker. And we do have the video of where he had used that word. So let's just take a quick look at that offensive video.
I've been called a cracker more times than every single one of you pasty little cracker bitches in my chat, okay? Let's be real for a second, okay, Mr. Alabama? I've been called a load more than you. Why? Because I'm extremely online, okay? So shut the up. And stop crying about this term, okay? Recognize the person who's calling you a is literally powerless, okay? Sorry, it's just the truth.
I love the fact that Hasan is doing that. And then he's saying, he sat there in his $3 million house, all of this fucking wealth, right? He's got fucking Uncle Cenk at the Young Turks, right? He's got a juicy contract with Twitch. He's saying, the people that are calling you that have got no power. Are powerless. What? This... Oh my God, this is unbelievable. I don't give a shit about that word, okay? Who fucking cares if you get called that? I don't care. You might care, whatever. I don't care, all right? It's the fact that he sat there saying, he's just said it, and the people that are calling you it are powerless. You just fucking called me it, bitch. What do you mean? Am I oppressing Hasan in some way? Have I got some power over Hasan that I'm not aware of?
A person calling you a fucker is powerless. They're doing it as someone who's been historically oppressed, blowing off steam, okay? You can say that that's infantilizing or whatever, but that's truly the reality.
Are we censoring the word cracker?
Yeah.
Wait, are we really not allowed to use
No, by the way,
word?
I don't know if Twitch is going to ban us now because we're using the word on air. So this is real. I have no idea.
This is insane. This is insane. All of this is insane.
Okay.
Like, yeah, go ahead.
So look, obviously Hasan and I are both from a Muslim background. We're from the same family.
Yeah, so powerless, I ran to my uncle's news org to bail me out again. Like, oh, I've had 3 cans of energy, maybe 4. No, 3. I left that on the desk yesterday because I was being a bit lazy when I went to bed. I'll be honest, like, this is it. I'm never black-pilled. I'm never black-pilled, okay? But like, fuck me if this isn't frustrating to engage with. Honestly, I am fucking triggered. I am so fucking triggered right now. You wouldn't believe it. I'm so fucking triggered. I don't know if it's my anger, my frustration, my energy drink, my 3 energy drinks I've consumed. I don't know. I'm so angry. Honestly, I'm fuming right now. I'm fucking furious. Oh my God. No, listen, I don't have a problem with them making content about it, but to not disclose it in an explicit way, that's to me similar to like doing an advert for something and not saying it's an advert. It's a real lack of journalistic integrity. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, I'm a fucking drama channel, okay? I'm a fucking, 400 viewer drama channel, okay? And when I cover drama, I reveal whatever personal relationship, or I generally will reveal what my personal relationship is, right?
Welcome to Chud Nation.
I'll explicitly state, well, I'm friends with Demon Mama, so I've got a bias there. I've made content with Riley before. I'm not as close with Riley as I'm, but there's a bias there. Me and Prime have spoken in the past, and we've got a connection. But that's like, I'll reveal whatever bias I've got before I start talking about it, right? So like, I do my best to like give you some insight, so you know where my take is coming from, and I still try to offer like an as unbiased a take as I can on stuff.
But Hasan looks pretty white, so that's why he gets called that word all the time as well, right? And so the reason it doesn't bother him, it doesn't bother any rational person, is because there's nobody being lynched after being called cracker, okay? There's no one being discriminated against after. You show me one case where black people or Latinos or whoever used it had so much power.
That's not what this is about. No one, honestly, right? The best thing you can do, if someone you need to say to them, explain what my position is to me. Explain my perspective, okay? People can't do it because they don't know. They've got their own fucking narrative that they're spinning about things, okay? They don't fucking know what the problem is. They don't get it. They think you're literally just upset by the use of the C word. Like, no. I'm not upset by it. I don't give a shit. Call me the C word all you fucking want. I don't care. But it's not about that. It's not about that. It was never about that for most people, okay? Do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? These people say that you're like justifying right-wingers and stuff like that, right? Hey, how's it going, Pablo? You feeling sick? Sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. It's actually these fucking morons. They're the ones that are validating right-wing arguments by engaging with their arguments that are being made. They're the ones that are responding to the fucking far-right people going, oh yeah, it's a super offensive term and we're upset by it. If you don't want to validate the far-right, stop engaging with their arguments and engage with the fucking our arguments and our points that we're making. Like, Jesus Christ. But we're the ones apparently that are justifying the right because we're saying, hey, Maybe it's a bad idea to insult people, off the back of like whatever trait. It's fucking mental. Oh my fucking God. Honestly, I'm losing it. I'm losing it over here.
And they said, I don't want crackers working here. And then they discriminated against them. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. So yes, some people use it in a derogatory fashion. By the way, it's also a very normal word in the English language. Are we banning Ritz crackers? Whereas the N-word.
Honestly, no wonder I don't watch fucking TYT. This is like when right wingers say, "Oh, what? Are we getting rid of blackboards? Are we?" And some school does some weird. Oh, they're getting rid of blackboards. They're getting rid of blackboards because the word black is. How this is fucking indecipherable from right wing shit. Like it's fucking unbelievable. I just lose it over it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. My brain is like fried from this. Chud is starting to believe. These fuckers are closer to you libs than they are to me, bitches, okay? You're acting like I'm getting lib-pilled or something. Nah, this is the fucking lib-pill shit here. No, thank you. I'll give that a miss, thanks. These people are way closer to you than they are to fucking me. Fuck you.
Is only used in that context, so context matters. By the way, if you say the N-word in a news context, quoting someone else, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Now, more have changed about that, but I wouldn't ban anybody for that, obviously.
Wait, he's just contradicted his own position because he said, "Oh, what are we banning Ritz crackers now?" Okay, but then he's saying context matters with the N-word. What? That's just literally inconsistent. In fucking 30 seconds, he's just contradicted his own fucking position. Okay. I need to calm down a bit because I'm fucking losing it. Oh my God. I think I've had too many energy drinks. Oh, fuck me. Whew. Okay.
Right? But in this case, they're pretending to be outraged about an insult that doesn't ever really get used in America. It's, oh, okay, well, we're gonna ban people for honky. Oh, wow, I get so discriminated against because you called me honky. All this is totally.
All right, chill out, Cheng. Jesus, I don't want to get my channel fucking yeeted. Fuck me. Chill out with the hard Y.
Lies, and it's meant to appease the right wing. Don't worry, we are cracking down on anti-white racists. It's absurd. There's no such thing. People are pretending that there's a problem when there isn't. It's the usual right-wing victimology. Oh, I'm such a victim. BS, total lies. Thanks for watching the Young Turks.
I love that he's saying that when Hasan literally shit his pants over getting banned for breaking the rules and acted like he was some victim. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. Right, we finished the video, okay? We finished the video.
So really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me.
Honestly, this guy. TYT are insufferable. All of their contributors are insufferable too. Every single one of them, okay? All of those people on Twitter with TYT contributor, yeah? TYT let me start again. TYT contributor in bio, opinion discarded, okay? That's how I operate. Straight away. Chucked in the bin, waste of time, not interested in your opinion, okay? TYT contributor, fuck off. Can I be honest with you? Right? It's a bit wince-inducing that people like Hasan can get banned from a platform, okay? And they can just bitch out about it for like days, okay? And then they can go on massive platforms to get to fucking launder their reputation or whatever. Like, look at this. Literally got on a fucking whole ass stream about it with another big progressive platform, 1.17 million subscribers. I never want to be this. Okay? I would never want my views or my comedy or whatever it is to be sullied or be restricted by having to like I like maintaining good maintaining good relations with people as a matter of politeness or a matter of diplomacy or something like that, right? But like oh God, I don't know. This is just like a bit cringe to me. You know, imagine like going on all these platforms, like toading about the place. Ugh, horrible.
And apparently, the libertarian brain, that Defense Project Veritas, doesn't actually end up defending a white guy getting banned for saying cracker. Glenn Greenwald came out with what goes around comes around take.
I've not seen the tweet where he is defending you against Twitch on this. Has he?
No, he did not.
Yeah, it's what's that meme of like the cancellation thing? I love it when lefties as well, who say cancel culture isn't real, go, oh, well, are they going to talk about cancel culture? It's like, bruh, you don't even fucking believe it's real. Like, you always say it's not a real thing. Like, maybe if you'd have just admitted that, yeah, there is a problem with big tech platforms fucking yeeting people. See, this is the problem where you don't have, like, that consistency, is you end up just looking like an idiot, where shit happens to people you like, and you're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is a problem, bitch. I fucking told you about it. I told you about it. I've been telling you.
Nah, he said what goes around comes around.
That's all this has been setting up for, in my opinion, is coming when the eventual purge comes. That's what I think.
I mean, that's like the functional equivalent of cheering on, saying that unvaccinated should not go to the hospitals, right? I mean, like his whole brand has been an unwavering principled stance, regardless of who the players are.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if Greenwald, but that principle was a bit shaky around the Nathan Robinson Guardian thing too, among some other those substackers, like taking a little bit of victory laps, or look at
the substackers, the are the substackers in the room with us now? Do you know what they mean by that? Basically, there's like this new theme of like alternative media having Substack in order to write their articles. That's what they're referencing there, and a lot of them are kind of like alt media, like people like Glenn Greenwald, stuff like that.
A little bit gleeful at a leftist getting banned.
Well, all right, let's.
Well, the thing about that is like Glenn is ridiculous in this issue because like he knows for a fucking fact that I have been a massive advocate for, BDS protesters and how much of a disgusting erosion of the First Amendment laws.
Yeah, I don't know if Hasan is like a hypocrite on this per se. My issue with Hasan is that there were clearly explained rules and he didn't follow them, and he complained about that. It's more so his fucking stands and people like that. They're the kind of people that will say cancel culture isn't real, and then they'll shit their pants over something like, do you know what I mean?
That we supposedly have in this country whenever, you have to sign like that you have to sign like loyalty to the state of Israel and that you've never actually said Palestinians are human to be a fucking teacher in Texas. Like, I think that's insane. And that is a true restriction of freedom of speech.
I just want to be clear so that people understand what you're talking about. There are, I think, something like 20 states in the country, maybe there's more, where to get a contract from the state, whether you're a speech therapist helping kids in public school or whether you're, I don't know, supplying, toilet paper for the state house bathrooms, you need to sign a pledge to say that you will not engage in the constitutionally protected right to protest or boycott Israeli products. There are 20 some odd states that make you sign this. The Republicans tried to push this on a federal level. I think it was Marco Rubio a couple of years ago brought it up in the Senate. And yeah, it's obscene. It's absolutely obscene. And that is genuine First Amendment stuff because, of course, we're talking about the government. So I just wanted to, if people weren't aware of that.
Yeah, he basically said that, Glenn basically said, pro-censorship, liberals being pro-censorship will lead to this. And he basically said banning people for I'm reading his tweet. Banning people for using the term cracker is obviously demented and repressive, but the ultimate case for reaping and sowing.
Please stop this. Why would I stop this? This is what people want to see. What do you mean? People are interested, if I was covering something and people stopped watching it, then I'd stop talking about it. But people want to watch it.
It is incredibly
it is what it is. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
That banning people like Milo and Alex Jones would inevitably lead to this outcome. So this idea that people are getting banned for saying cracker was inevitably going to happen is a silly one, considering that platforms were incredibly strict on anything that goes outside of like the liberal to reactionary, neat little ideological box of conformity for a very long time. You never were able to, you would get clapped as a defender of Palestine regularly, even before Alex Jones and Milo was
Of course, look
yeeted
at
off the platform.
Hill. I mean, never mind platform, but I mean, and we should say that 30 years ago, 25 years ago, he was about 30. Barry Crimmins was in front of Congress. The late Barry Crimmins was testifying about pedophiles on AOL. When that was a platform, and they had chat rooms, and they were allowing child predators on there, and it got shut down. And you wouldn't hear any arguments at that time like this is a slippery slope. The fact of the matter is that people can make a difference between peddling one type of stuff versus another. And those type of assessments are made all the time. And there's inevitably going to be mistakes, like I think Twitch made in your case. And that's part of the process. And that's part of like the...
What? He's saying Twitch made a mistake. What was the mistake? Where's the mistake? Where's the fucking mistake? What? Why are people acting like fucking Hasan is some hard done by person when they were literally sat on stream saying, yeah, I don't care, I'm going to say it. Like, I don't know, it's so weird to me. It's so fucking weird to me that people are acting like there's some mistake that's occurred. Oh no, there's been a tragic error here. Twitch have got and listen, Twitch have got some fucking weird TOS and stuff, and they don't apply it consistently, right? Like, Jesus Christ. But this is pretty explicit. Like, you can literally read it and it's clear. The mistake is that these bans were only supposed to hit their enemies. Yes, exactly. Oh my God, that's a good meme. I don't know. It just annoys me. Like, people, like... I hope to God that, like, I never become what Hasan is. Like, I don't know. I just find it really weird that people, this terrible thing has befallen you. What a terrible mistake. Like, oh God, I don't know. I need to increase the spicy memes so that people never, like, I don't know.
The way that these things develop, and the idea that they're all the same because you're deplatforming a person, and so it's necessarily all the same case, is childish, and it really is less. And I think it's indicative of just his response to you, frankly.
Why is this so quiet?
It is less about a principled stance and more about, like, this is just the methodology he's using to advocate for a certain ideology that he obscures. And I mean,
I wonder if he thinks that McCarthyism is a product of, liberal identity politics as well. Maybe that's why it happened. Red Scare happened only because, the left wanted too much censorship.
Of course. I mean, he will use it. I mean, and it's been this is his methodology, and I think it's quite clear. And I will say this, though. We're getting a lot of complaints about your fingernail polish. And I think it is it was very big of us to allow you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, what I will say is anyone criticizes us for a fingernail polish is literally stupid. You're literally shooting yourself in the foot if you criticize it. You just come across as a fucking, like, some sort of Puritan weirdo. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you criticize that? Why would you take away from whatever critique you've got by talking about what fucking nail polish someone is wearing? Literal brainworm shit.
By me being weird. Weird guy.
A lot of people in the office totally freaked out right now. And that was really funny. And I have to say also, I mean, I didn't actually think that we would go into this, but I guess we both could not help ourselves. The fact that he took offense that you were saying that he and Jimmy are old. And I will say this. Glenn is, as far as I know, probably about 6 months younger than I. And maybe less. maybe 4 or 5. I think he's maybe not quite hit 55 yet. We are old. I want to make that clear. We're old. 55 is old.
You're a fox, Sam. You know that.
Well, that may or may not be the case. And Glenn is a strapping, young looking fellow.
Young.
Not young, but old fellow as well. And Jimmy, you know. But we're old. You're young. That's just a fact.
Oh.
And I think, you know, it's important for us to sort of just accept it and it's not pejorative. It just happens to be that, like, when you get to be our age, certain things look like you're on our lawn, and it's upsetting to us. But that's, you know,
it is like, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you start freaking out on someone because because like a straight male has like painted their nails a color, then that's boomer behavior. Boomerism is a mindset. And
Those commercials, like the couple is in like the
It's so annoying as well because it means that people can pivot from like whatever substantive point you're making and just point out stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know.
Home Depot or whatever, and the guy with blue hair, and he's like, "Don't." You
My
don't have to
pleasure,
say
I'm
anything
enjoying
about
it.
The blue hair, and the dad can't help himself. That's the same behavior.
It's pretty shocking. I mean, like, it's not. I gotta say, and I'm not a boomer. I don't think. Well, Glenn couldn't be because he is like 5 or 6 months younger than me. But you know, even boomers, we've had plenty of people in our generation, in Gen X, who wear nail polish. It just
And now I've got to sit through fucking 5 minutes. Well, I don't have to. I can watch anything really, but I chose to watch this, obviously. But now we got to listen to 5 minutes of them talking about fucking the nail polish memes. Like, fuck me. No one. I don't care about wear whatever you want. You could come on the stream wearing fucking any old shit. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
seems like, I mean,
I'll speed it up, yeah.
like a very odd thing to fixate on. But I guess that was what the reach is.
Okay, just so you know as well, I'm streaming for like another hour, and then I've got to fucking get a wriggle on and get out of here. But I'll be back tomorrow. So, but yeah, in the meantime, for the next hour, if I could just ask you to chuck some, imagine I'm coming around with a hat and I'm saying, "Excuse me, have you enjoyed the stream? Do you mind chucking a few bucks in to say thank you for such a wonderful stream?" But there we go. There's the link.
Who do you think they're on now? I mean, do you think that just like basically are in competition with Steven Crowder in terms of their audience?
I think that there's a lot of, look, there's a big audience in independent media always that is constantly looking for reactionary content and people to tell them that they agree with them. It's, I think, even better if this is supposedly like a leftist person or a left adjacent person telling a reactionary person that they agree with them. Like, everyone wants to be comforted for their points of view. So, you know, it's certainly a viable way to make money. I think I think it's an immoral way to do so, but that's probably what they're cashing in on. I mean, a lot of these guys, they get fat Substacks, you know, decent amount of money. I know Glenn loves talking about how much money I make whenever that comes up, but like, I'm one person. Like, we don't have a lot of incredibly successful leftist media operations that are independent, you know? We don't even have a lot of leftist media operations in general in comparison.
There's one here called Chud Logic, okay? And we're fucking doing it, yeah? The Chud Nation is rising.
Into how broad the spectrum of like reactionary content that is readily available on YouTube, that is sometimes independent and other times actually backed by the very same institutions, entities, human beings that would back mainstream media outlets that churn that kind of misinformation.
It's pretty stunning what you're talking. I mean, like, we will every now and then hear about somebody that we've never heard about. The last one was this guy, JP Sears. I just had a thing. Have you ever heard of JP Sears?
No.
He is a conservative, anti-vaccine comic who gets like 2 million views per video he puts out about this, you know, with anti-vax conservative talking points.
Oh, I know. That dude looks hurt. Yo, that dude, oh my God. He looks like such a fucking, that dude is the archetypical Los Angeles failed actor who absolutely fucking was like, oh, there's a target rich environment of suckers here that'll like watch anything I say as long as they agree with me. And like, it's such bottom of the barrel commentary. It's just like, liberals are so stupid. It's like what's that fucking SNL guy that was on with Dave Chappelle in that movie, Jim Brewer?
I don't know. Like, you know, the thing is like, there's literally no like benefit to me shitting on Hasan, right? Like there's not really much benefit to that. Because Hasan's been banned, I'd be better off like trying to get Hasan refugees in. You know, I could do like Hasan refugees welcome, come in here, it's all good, da da da. I ain't gonna do that shit. I've obviously got Hasan and Vosh in the title because I'm talking about their ban. But other than that, like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, come in and just be, oh yeah, oh terrible business, isn't it? Terrible business. This he's been banned. I hate it. Oh, I hope he get. Oh, I really like Hasan. I hope he comes back soon.
or whatever. Like it's his style of comedy where he's like, liberals are like this, and then everyone's like, yes, I agree with that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I know, Red Penny. But my point is, at this exact time, if I was making a fucking clout play, I just fucking, you know, I just fucking blow smoke up Hasan's ass because you know, I could put Hasan refugees welcome, people would click on it, they'd see me saying nice things about Hasan. A few people have come in from Hasan's community presumably, and they're like, oh you're being mean to Hasan. Like fuck off. Yeah, fuck you.
Much. It's just you know, it's the reactionary version of Nanette, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my point was that there's a ton of these guys out there. Now we here are swimming in drowning in Google money, as most people know. Completely drowning.
This isn't a fucking play. Like, you know, I know you don't think probably that we're doing it. I'm not doing this for like a like. This is just the discourse du jour. I'll always give you my honest opinion on something. Okay, I've just got a bit annoyed because of something that's pissed me off about this. But listen. Okay, like this is my genuine take.
In it, but for the most part, there's really a very limited number of people who do this on the left and can actually make a living at it. I was fortunate enough to come off of Air America, and I had an email list, and that was basically the only thing that basically saved me 10, 11 years ago. But for the most part, very difficult to build an audience on the left, whether it's whether it's you're talking about liberals or you're talking about progressives or socialists. It's tough. It happens, but it's tough. And on the right, there's just a lot more money, and there's a lot more, frankly, funding that comes from places like the Koch brothers. Maybe it gets laundered a couple of times through different organizations, and but there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of lost leader attitude on the right that doesn't exist on the left, obviously, because I
don't know why someone who has been a beneficiary of wealth hoarding or the centralization of wealth would turn around and pay for someone to tell them like that's wrong. That entire system that allowed them to make billions of dollars and accumulate that kind of wealth that system needs to be dismantled. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, how's Mike from PA doing? Obviously, he's this silent waiting room, right? Like, you know,
people who benefit from that are not going to turn around and pay for people to advocate against that.
Even on Air America, the big money was afraid of giving money to Air America and supporting it, investing in it, because the big money, the liberal, centered to the left money, is afraid of populism, because the populism on the left is economic populism. The folks like the Koch brothers or the countless number of billionaires, frankly, that fund these things. Every day you hear about another person who's like $300 million for to invest in some type of seed thing for online right-wing content. They're not afraid of the right-wing populism because it doesn't threaten their dollars at the end of the day.
They don't criticize venture capitalism.
No. And even when you look at like what, the critique that Glenn has of big tech, he will pay some lip service to the idea of dismembering it, but it really becomes which flavor of big tech is evil, right? Google is evil. PayPal's not necessarily evil. Facebook's not necessarily evil. I mean, even in what's also fascinating to me is like, I remember interviewing him about his book, about the Manichean style of the Bush administration, good, evil, how childish he thought that was at the time. But now it's effective because it's really deployed as a way of building a brand and these subsidiary brands, whether it's Substack or Rumble or whatever, Callin or whatever it is. And instead of saying there's a structural problem here that needs to be dealt with, and this is the point. It's not that Google is evil or Facebook is evil. It is anything of this size, any enterprise of this size is bad for society. It's not like these specific, individuals there are evil. Maybe they are, but that's irrelevant. It is the structure of these things that needs to be dealt with.
Absolutely. Just like the systemic problems will still persist.
And there is a big difference that I always like to point to when we're looking at cultural hegemony, right? Bad behavior and like policing what you would consider to be like bad thoughts and bad attitudes in liberal media is something that a lot of liberals also like to engage in, rad libs. And I criticize that too, to a certain degree, when people are just like, why is there a bad character doing bad things in this movie? That's bullshit. They should always do, human beings should not be complex. They should be arbiters of morality and yada, yada. And I think that's a silly way. And I think that that's bad for art overall. And I don't like that. And I personally don't even think that like these cultural
Rhetoric is addictive since you don't need to provide coherent arguments. Okay, this is a true point, Zanzi, and this is why, from now on, if I'm just going to say like a slur that the fucking leftoids hate, like the R word or whatever, or the F slur, and if they go, oh, you can't say that, I'll say, yeah, I can, it's not a slur. And if they say explain, I'll go, well, no, it's just not a slur, is it? And if they say, yeah, but there's I'll say, I disagree, I don't think there is. Just fucking be like that about it. What the fuck are they going to say? Easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, yeah? Try it.
movements actually end up pushing for systemic change. I will admit that, okay? They're the only time, however, though, that like any sort of cultural artifact, a movie, for example, like Birth of a Nation, can push for some kind of attitude shift is if the material realities already support that. America was already a deeply white supremacist nation. We already have a lot of white supremacist institutions, and then Birth of a Nation happens. That's how you start, that's how you start basically forming an active base for the Klan, right? That can't happen with the opposite. You can't combat material realities and material inequalities by making people watch a movie and then, feel a certain type of way. You can only do that if you are already in the dominant group and that your ideology is baked into all of the institutions and your attitude is reflected in like everyday lives, in our everyday lives, even if people don't recognize it's happening.
So
that's how nefarious it is.
You're saying that these cultural forces can be accelerants, but they cannot be, they can't flip, be catalysts and flip.
Yes. Yes.
I think that's true.
The revolutionary spark can only happen if there is a base of support within the material inequalities, and that there is like already organizing occurring alongside that. It can't.
Is he talking about like sorry, I missed that. I got distracted by Twitter. Is he talking about like liberal institutions? Is that sounded like what he was talking about? Right? Because it's liberalism that's like the overarching thing of our society, Not like American liberalism, but like liberalism as a political, like the individual being sovereign and all that shit. Liberty, life, whatever that shit is. You know what I mean? The Americans have taken the idea of what liberalism is and just, I don't know, they've turned it into some weird ass thing. Like people think liberals are sock dems. Like, I don't know, it's weird.
Can't do it on its own. No one's gonna watch a movie and be like, all right, I'm fucking Marxist now, and like, and then
wait, what? He's saying the Klan propaganda film only worked because people wanted to be Klans members. Wasn't the Ku Klux Klan, when did that film come out? The 1930s. Even by like the 1930s, wasn't the Ku Klux Klan like, I mean, obviously it wasn't as controversial as it is today, but wasn't it like somewhat controversial? I think by the 1930s, I'm pretty sure that it got to the point where people were like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't just be killing black people like this, like, or something like that. Or maybe lynching is a bad thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure even by that point, culturally, there'd been a shift away from the more explicit racism that you'd seen in previous generations. Oh, 1915. Oh, sorry, I thought it came out in like the 30s. I mean, yeah, obviously, like, they were pretty racist back then, but I don't know. I suppose as well, yeah, there's going to be a difference of opinion in the South and in the North, Hardly, they were still burning black churches through the 60s. I mean, yeah, but like, but what I'm saying is, I'm talking about people like getting lynched in the street, right? There was a point in America where they were like, okay, maybe this isn't a good thing to do eventually, right? And the whole Jim Crow stuff, the end of that was another big step forward, right? But it's not. Do you see where I'm coming from? That still happened well into the 60s. Yeah, but it was. I'm fairly certain that it wasn't quite as socially acceptable as it was, say, in like the 1800s, right? Like, I genuinely don't know, like, the exact turning point and when things changed. But yeah, if it was 1915, I don't know. Do you see the point I'm trying to make? Like, don't just say, oh yeah, well there was still, like, yeah, of course, there was still racism. But there's a difference between the racism of Jim Crow versus the racism of, like, literally just murdering black people in the streets, right? You understand? There's a different types of, like, racist things happening. Like, there's different severity there. It's still bad. It's all bad. It's all fucking bad. Okay, but this is my whole point. Yes, that's bad. There are still places where they tell you better leave if you're black. That's bad. I agree. But you agree as well, right? That what is worse. Okay, I appreciate there's still black people being, there probably is. Okay, I'm sure that maybe happens. But there's a difference between it being very, limited and socially condemned versus it happening regularly and society being like, oh yeah, we're cool with that, right? Do you see the point I'm trying to make? What I'm wondering is, like, what's the turning point for, like, the Ku Klux Klan? From when the Ku Klux Klan went from being, like, considered like, oh yeah, you could just be in the Ku Klux Klan and it's chill, to nowadays. So it used to be that you could be in the Ku Klux Klan and it would be chill, no one would bat an eyelid, right? Nowadays, if you're in, like, a cross section of society and you said, I'm in the Ku Klux Klan, yeah, people would be like, holy fucking shit, that's crazy. What do you mean, you fucking racist? At what point did that change? Do you see the point I'm trying to make? People are like, I'm saying this basic point, and people are like, well, they're still doing bad stuff now. Yeah, I know, but you can't just, I doubt that you could, maybe in certain places, but broadly in a cross-section of society, you're not going to be able to just come out and say I'm in the KKK, but like 150 years ago, you probably could, and it'd be like, yeah, that's chill, good for you, yeah, let's fucking do it. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, chat, wait, it's like pulling teeth.
Enough people watch it and then they all become Marxists, and then that's how you form the Vanguard Party. Like, that's not how it happens. It happens at workplaces. It happens through organizing.
And I think that limitation is true for the type of stuff that we do, frankly, as well. Like there has been, because of the nature of, I think, the people who do this kind of stuff that we do, and the economic incentives to sort of inflate our.
They made anti-lynching laws and enforced them. Oh, okay. And that was in the 60s. This year, the KKK changed in 2008 when Obama was elected. Like, I just wanted the vibe, and I've kind of got it, but I don't know. Honestly, I'm done with it. But let's forget about it, okay?
I mean, I think you have a much bigger audience, obviously, than we do here. But even there, it is you can influence ideas, but I think ultimately there's no we're not catalysts for broad-based change. That has to happen with people in their.
Wait a second though. If this film, Birth of the Nation, led to a resurgence in the Ku Klux Klan, right? Like, this idea that, like, I don't know. Listen. It's forget it. I'm just moving on.
And interactions and workplace and the relationship to their own work. The idea that
give me some money.
People are like, we don't have a certain policy because these.
Give me money. Give me money right now.
5 YouTubers are not behind it is, I think, a little bit problematic in terms of people's understanding of how this stuff works.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's funny to me whenever people greatly exaggerate, like, the influence that I have.
Yeah,
like, oh,
like,
you're gonna get.
Is it because of the film? I don't know. Look, I don't know enough about it. I'm going off chat. Okay, chat is offering all different shit. I'm gonna not. We're done. Forget it. Shut up, everyone.
Keep criticizing him, and I'm like, if I could get people to vote a certain way, Bernie Sanders would be fucking the president.
30-day supply gifted a tier 1 sub.
Thank you for the sub.
They have
Appreciate
given
it.
11 gift subs in the
channel. He would have won the primaries. Like, it's not. My influence is nothing in comparison to the trillions of dollars.
Oh, not Sam. Sorry, I'm DMs and stuff. Sometimes I'm a bit forgetful.
Of earned media that mainstream media outlets can offer a particular candidate if they want to shift their weight towards them. I don't just mean paid media. I don't mean that. I'm using the technical definition here. Earned media is when someone talks about your candidate. For those of you who don't know, in an organic capacity. Like, oh yeah, look how crazy it is that Joe Biden won Super Tuesday. That's wild. Like, or leading up to Super Tuesday, talking about how great Joe Biden is. Like, that's earned media versus paid media would be buying ads. It works side by side, but earned media is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I think the dynamic is very similar to what you were talking about. Just in terms of
I can't do a slur tier list, but thank you for the bit, Sublime.
where the culture is. We can be accelerants. We can be the reinforcers. We can help a little bit, but there's nobody. It's not happening with any given or even a multitude of YouTubers. It's all just butterfly wings type of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't mean that like what we're doing is not significant. Don't get me wrong. I think you guys are doing a great job, and I think like trying to break away
for a half hour somehow.
Hey, Frank Sino, thank you very much for the $13. Appreciate that. For super generous of you.
From the capitalist dogma, or even like the center-right liberal attitude that Americans have on most economic issues.
Chud, no, listen. Look, at the end of the day, okay, if people look, I don't know what's going on. Okay, please, I'm telling you, stop fucking arguing about drama shit that's nothing to do with me. Okay.
I think that's really good, but it can't be done individually by YouTubers and Twitch streamers and podcasters. It has to be also accompanied with like on the ground organizing.
And stuff like Matt was just saying, defense against like stuff like Project Veritas. I mean, I think we're most effective when we're just talking about media narratives and where they start. I mean, that's the interesting thing I think about Twitter on some level too, is that
if you fuckers in chat can't stop arguing about some drama, okay, I'm turning the stream round and we're going home. That's a good meme. I like that. Right, that's it. I'm taking an executive decision. I'm timing out one of my mods, okay? I've just timed out one of my mods, okay? That should be a fucking lesson to you, all right? That should be a fucking lesson to you right there. Cut it out.
Much of what's happening on Twitter is really a function of influencing the sense
I'm sorry,
of reporters.
but people have got a right, okay, to come into a chat and watch someone stream without being fucking bombarded about some fucking, whatever it is, okay? I don't know what the circumstances are, okay? In regards to this drama. I've not looked into it, okay? I've not covered it. Do you know why I've not covered it? It's a fucking black hole, and I'm not fucking interested in it, okay? I'm not interested in it. I'm not touching it. Why the fuck are people so insistent on trying to bring it to my channel? I don't fucking care, okay? With all due respect. It's nothing to do with me, okay? It's nothing to do with me. I've not covered it. I've not spoken about it. Please stop bringing it into my chat, okay? If people involved in the drama want to watch my stream, they should be able to do so without getting bothered by other chatters. Why is this so fucking hard for you absolute fucking idiots to understand? Why have I had to explain this 3 times now? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Yeah? You don't fucking understand. To you, it's one person atting in chat. To them, it's loads of people. Listen, they could have done the most inappropriate shit imaginable, okay? But even so, if they just want to sit and watch a stream that isn't about the let them fucking be, okay? Holy fucking shit. Why is it so difficult for you fucking idiots to under-fucking stand? Listen, this it. Foot down. Any more fucking mentions or ats, you're getting insta-fucking banned. That's it. Shut the fuck up.
Who are on Twitter as to what's going on in the narrative. I mean, that's the sort of interesting dynamic. You're almost like taking advantage of the myopia that most human beings have, which is like, oh, I heard a lot on Twitter. It must be going on out there. And then you have people who actually have the ability to write, like in the New York Times, and have a sense of what's happening. That very often cuts the other way because it's all about, somebody at Kenyon College said you can't say this word, and so that's our biggest problem in this country, or something to that effect. But
yeah, I hate that. I absolutely hate it because it's like this idea that so many people who fancy themselves to be like white working class whisperers exclusively hyper focus on the exact same kind of culture war bullshit that like reactionary outlets focus on, like Fox News, and think that is the end all be all, when it's like a dude living in Western Pennsylvania his life is not going to change if like a couple students who were maybe even a little, heated, maybe a little over the top, and were yelling at a professor. You know what I mean? Like that's not changing anybody's
When
life.
there's
It's
30 minutes
simply
of
a
your shift
distraction.
left, yeah.
And they're doing it deliberately. They're distracting you from
I
the main
don't-
problem.
I don't
They're
see it like
distracting
that.
you
That's a
from the
good
reality
meme.
that the Joe Biden administration hasn't done shit. But even Republicans aren't doing a better job of criticizing the Joe Biden administration. They're still hyper-focusing on made-up narratives like CRT and all this other shit. Why? Because if they were to hold Joe Biden to account, if they truly were economic populists like, Donald Trump presented himself to be, but he wasn't actually, right? They would be hammering Joe Biden on student loan debt relief. Where is it?
Listen, here's the reality, okay? Let me hit you with the truth, right? There's people out there, okay? And look, I don't think the video was perfect. And I think Sean was being way too apologetic in it for just giving what I think was a perfectly reasonable opinion, right? But these people, these like poor white people, right? Like there's an academic analysis that's engaged in that kind of, ends up negatively being against them. Like, but what the fuck have they got? Have you seen some of the fucking living situations of some people in like some of these states? It's egregious. It's terrible. They got nothing. They live in a shitty little shack somewhere. And of course, the big problem is the right-wing media, okay? The big problem is the right-wing media, right? That's the big issue in all of this that fuels all of this. But I think if you're genuinely concerned with class consciousness and da-da-da-da-da, like, holy fucking shit, why are you fucking defending, like, what is just something that, it's just going to inflame things. You're not making the world a better place. You're just making it harder. You're just making things worse. Like, if that's your goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck me. I don't know.
Where's the student loan debt relief? They would be even talking more about how Joe Biden is currently utilizing Title 42 and trying to keep Title 42 in action to ensure that, asylum seekers who are legally and morally, by the way, seeking asylum within our borders, purging them from the country by using the Donald Trump era CDC restrictions and using this like COVID restrictions to purge them from the country without giving them their right to seek asylum. It's disgusting.
Same dynamic with Remain in Mexico. You had a court order that they needed to come to a deal with Mexico, but the idea that deals can be sewn up so quickly, it seems fascinating to me. I mean, I don't know. I will say this, and this actually raises something I was going to talk about today. I didn't get to it yet, but there was the Biden administration. They just held one of the biggest sales for auctions for oil and gas drilling leases in the Gulf of Mexico's history, and I think it was in November, and it happened literally just days after COP26.
Because they listen to the scientists, Sam. That's how it works.
And at the time, the administration said that we were compelled to by a court ruling that was in favor of a bunch of Republican-led states that sued to lift the blanket pause that the administration had put on the drilling permits. But apparently, this according to The Guardian, the DOJ, just before the lease, acknowledged that the judgment does not force the government to auction off the drilling rights in the Gulf. I'm not going to, I don't need to read what the DOJ says. That was just what it said. Now, here's the question I have. I wonder, and I'm looking at this, there's also a big fight at the FDIC right now, which, long story short, there's a Republican Trump-appointed chair of the FDIC, and there's a majority on the board of Democrats. And they're having a big sort of like bureaucratic fight because the Democrats want to regulate the banks harder and want to prevent consolidation. There is the Biden administration that deserves
communism.
Deserves credit for not quite communism, but for antitrust. They're pretty good on it in terms of the administration, in terms of the personnel. That story has sort of broken out into the open because it's pretty high profile. I wonder when I see stuff like this, whether the Department of the Interior is still staffed by a lot of Trump appointed people who, when there's a court order, instead of dragging their feet, race to fulfill this thing before there's because this is a massive, our government has tens of thousands of people who come in with a new administration or they don't. And we're still a year out dealing with a lot of these agencies that are Trump staffed. And the Biden administration just doesn't have it's just the sheer, it's a difficult operation. I've been trying to get, frickin' pullover hoodies on our merch site for 7 months, and it takes me time to do it. I don't know the answer to this, but
Republicans want it more, and also not only that, but also they don't go against the material interest of their benefactors, their corporate benefactors, and their wealthy benefactors. Like, that's the reality. Whereas Democrats campaign on systemic problems that they are seeking to solve that are diametrically opposed to the material interests of their benefactors, which is precisely why they have to be the party of incompetence, whereas Republicans can be the party of viciousness and immorality, and openly engage in like racial agitative propaganda, white anxieties, use that as a really effective deflection away from the real problem.
Look, I don't care. Look, I don't care. That sounds bad. I do care to some degree, but like, I don't really understand. What's this oil and gas thing? Like, I'm a bit perplexed.
Problems that the American working class is facing, whereas Democrats just look like incompetent fools that can only focus on, making sure your favorite TV show doesn't have any like hateful sentiment expressed in it, even if it's simply for parody. And I think that is just a really silly, self-defeating way of running. And let alone the reality that Democrats only run every 4 years or every 2 years when they remember that they're, they need to win seats, versus Republicans are running all the time because they have to activate certain key bases within their movement and are consistently hammering on their narratives. Otherwise, how the hell are you going to get a bunch of random people to advocate for tort reform? You know what I mean? Or even school choice. Like, these are ideas that they add on to other pre-existing movements that are organically growing, like QAnon. That's why when you see like a QAnon rally, you got like a Republican council member running for a fucking district in like Southern California, literally talking about school choice. But you're at a QAnon rally, and it's like, yeah, Democrats are pedophiles. Also, we should give more vouchers. We should allocate some of this communist public schooling system funds away from these, horrible communist teachers and give them to private schools, religious schools. It's like, well, you just bake that in there so perfectly. And they do this year round. They do this nonstop because they want it more. And also because that's what the benefactors want. And that's what the benefactors want, even if they're actually, giving money to the Democratic Party.
And I do think, there's just a lot less friction between school choice and QAnon than there is between, funding public schools more and wealthy benefactors. I mean, that's just the bottom line. There's just
I don't know.
It's not as steep of a hill, I guess. All right, man. Well,
like
listen. I guess enjoy your vacation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep making content. Like, they're not gonna. It's really annoying because the ban is like really rigorous. Really, like, you can't appear on anyone else's streams. You can't basically limits you from hanging out with your friends and your coworkers, which is understandable.
Are you not allowed to see family members?
Oh my goodness. Oh, fucking poor. Oh my god. How is he gonna fucking survive?
No, I can see my family members. Yeah, my mom and dad are here right now. They're staying with me. But I'm still gonna keep trucking away.
When they heard about the ban?
What's this, Pedro? It's a bit too deep for the format, but basically Biden didn't want anyone to drill anymore. This got challenged in court. As a result, they permitted drilling. Progressives say this means they're in the pocket of big oil and gas, even though oil and gas lobbies reps 10 versus 1 Dems. Okay.
They loved it. They were like, oh, great. Like, then we will be able to go and vacation. I was like, absolutely not.
All right. Well, hang in there. Thanks for coming on. It was good to.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
I don't know. I don't know. I just, I feel this anger rising. I don't know what it is. I honestly, I think it's just like, people talk a lot about privilege and stuff like that, right? And I think people apply it in like a very blanket way, which is frustrating. But when you see someone who, like, have literally got it all on it, they've got their fucking whole life on a silver platter, like, and they're whining. I get like Maslow's hierarchy of needs or whatever's a thing, but Jesus Christ, like, it's a bit fucking much.